Hey, hello everyone. My name is Candace Janae, and I'm so excited to be here live with you guys today. I'm doing something new. I'm going live more consistently on my YouTube channel as well as on Instagram and over on TikTok as well. So, if you don't know who I am an award-winning entrepreneur, digital marketing expert, business coach, world. Um, uh, International speaker. I do so much. I'm an author. I actually have a background in mechanical engineering, but I'm actually I work as an entrepreneur now. And while I have a business that is focused on marketing, I am a faith-based business owner. And so one of the things that I always do is I make sure that as I'm building my business, that I am keeping God at the center of it. So I actually have two different businesses. I actually have my master's in business administration with the focus on marketing and accounting. But I currently run two different businesses. One is called Epic Fab Girl. It's a community for faith-based Christian women entrepreneurs. We help them build profitable brands and grow their faith through our online membership. You can find out more information about that at gogettermembership.com. But I also run a digital marketing consulting company where I help women scale their businesses to six figures and really master their marketing in the world that we live in, especially within digital marketing. So I'm really excited to share with you guys today just a little bit more about what it looks like to really trust God in your business. And one of the things that I love to incorporate when it comes to my business is I love to hear from God on what he has to say about a current time and a current season and what we should be focusing on. And so for me, particularly, God gives me downloads and he gives me new instructions for every single month. And it is important for me to really follow after what God has called me to follow after for that particular month. For example, when it came to the month of May, God had me shift my marketing strategy that was different than anything I had ever done. But He had me shift my marketing strategy to refocus on something different. And literally, I was able to see a fruitful month from that. In that very same month, in that very same wavelength for the month of June, God has given me very clear instructions on what I should be doing. And I think it's really important for entrepreneurs to remember that, especially as kingdom business owners and as kingdom entrepreneurs. But I'm going to share what I feel the Lord is saying specifically to entrepreneurs in this season. And I literally hear him saying so simply and clearly is to just do not be afraid. Like literally do not fret. There are so many people who are in your ear right now causing you to feel afraid or feel like you have something to fear. And I just hear God saying to trust him in this season. And honestly, when it comes to business and when it comes to entrepreneurship, it is not easy. Whether you are a side hustler, you have a main gig, and you are doing something on the side, or you are, listen, do not fret. That is literally what I heard God say. But a lot of times, you may be in a position where you start to look at your circumstances and you are starting to waver in your thought process. You're starting to waver and feel like what God said to you when he first gave you instructions was not what he said. And I'm here to remind you that God said exactly what he said. He says the closest place, the most important place that you can be right now, and the most important position that you can have right now in your business is to be positioned in complete alignment with him. This is the best place that you can be. So he says to get it clear into your head that the whispers of what you've been hearing from other people, even just like the worries of other people, to silence those voices and to recenter yourself and to refocus yourself on what God has to say. And I'm saying this because I literally hear so strongly that the enemy has tried to come in and make entrepreneurs feel like this is a time to back and to cower back and to draw back. And this is not a season to draw back. This is a season to literally push forward and to do what God told you to do. Just because your situation right now does not look like the way that you thought it was supposed to be and turn out, it does not mean that God is not moving. God is literally moving on your behalf, and he's moving in the background. And he says, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of the smoke and the mirrors. Even those that have had great expectation and expected God for a thing and it did not come to pass, he said, keep on expecting. And I'm literally hearing that verse that talks about, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall rise up as eagles. They shall soar. They literally will walk and not be weary, and they shall run and never faint. And so literally, this is not the season to draw back. This is not the season to say, I don't think God said what he said. This is the season to tap into what God already said and to really meet with God yet again and to hear from him on strategy on what to do in this current season. This is not the season to back. This is not the season to worry about what other people are saying. This is not the season to wonder why things are not the way you thought they were supposed to be. This is the season to do what God said to do regardless. I literally see like all these words and all these things that have been thrown in the direction of kingdom entrepreneurs in an effort to make them feel like this is not the time and the season for them to do what God has told them to do. Everything from seeing massive layoffs, everything from seeing things related to a recession, everything related to you got to do this and you got to do that, and you're hearing all of these words and these things and these messages being thrown at you from all these different directions. But God says that the closest and most important place that you need to be in your business and in your life for this current season is to be right next to him. Like, this is the season for you to draw nigh to him. The Bible is very clear that if you draw near to God, he draws near to us. And as you draw near to God, he's going to give you downloads. I literally see him giving like blueprints, like blueprints and building blocks for your future. But he says to do it now. Do not wait. Do not be afraid of what other people are saying, because he says they don't have the full picture. They don't understand how I am working behind the scenes. And so even if you are afraid and you're like, God, all this stuff is breaking out in my business, I have no idea what to do. Or even, God, I want to launch out and do my business, and this was the season that you told me to do it, and everything is not working out as you thought it was going to work out. I just hear God saying so loud and clear that everything is working out for your good. All things work together for the good to them that love God and are called according to his purpose. I literally hear him saying, like, did I say what I said, or did I say what I said? He said exactly what he said, and it has not changed. The same prophetic words that you've gotten that were spoken over you even as a child, the same prophetic words that even he spoke over you at the beginning of this year, even the same prophetic words that you have not seen manifest in your life and in your business in the past 5 and 10 years. All things are working together for your good. He still said what he said. This is a season of great manifestation, like immense and like immediate manifestation. So even as he says to just trust in him, like literally the verse that God had me like honing in on, like as I'm like, okay, God, I know you want me to go live more consistently, but what do you want me to say today? God is literally saying, trust in the Lord. I'm a reel it on in. I'm gonna stop yelling because I want y'all to hear me. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Literally, Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust, like trust. Like, I'm gonna stop at the word trust, because the enemy has tried to give like smoke and mirrors so much that your trust is no longer as strong as it once was in God. And I just hear God saying, like, this is the season to trust me like you have never trusted me before. This is the season to put your faith on the line. This is the season for you to step out into the water and off of the boat. This is the season for you to move forward without hesitation. This is the season to move despite what you see, despite what you hear. Trust. Literally, God wants our trust back. He says, I am warring for your trust. He says, I am about to show you what it looks like when you really lean into me and trust in me. So do not be afraid. Do not worry. Do not fret. He says to trust in me with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. I hear him saying that many of us have been leaning into what we know and what we see. We have become so dependent on seeing the miraculous happen that we have been missing out on miracles because we could not see it with our spiritual eyes. And he says this is the season to see it before it happens. But he says, I want you to dream again. I want you to believe again. I want you to trust again. I want you to lean into me yet again and trust that I'm going to do exactly what I said I was going to do from the beginning. And I even see God downloading new ideas, new strategies, new tactics, new ways, new perspectives. I see God downloading just an overwhelming amount of ideas, and he's going to give you the strategy. For many of you guys have had people come along the journey and tell you what they think you need to do, and he says it brought about confusion. And God is saying in this season, this is not the moment of confusion. This is not a moment to be confused. This is a moment to draw back and to push back from all the words and the things that other people have spoken, the things that you are that you were unsure of. He says, if you're not sure about it, it ain't me. He says, if you're not sure about it, it's not him. This is the season to lean into what he said, to draw close to him and align with him and trust that he's going to do exactly what he said he would do. But it's going to take your work and your effort and your diligence to do the instruction that he gave you. This is not the season to back and be like, nah, I ain't even sure. I'm not sure if God said what he said. This is the season to do exactly what God told you to do and to not second guess it. So trust in the Lord with all of your heart. With all of your heart, okay? Y'all, it's so crazy because God's giving me new revelation every time I go back to the word. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. The Bible literally tells us that we should guard our hearts because out of it flows the issues of life. Like, we should guard our hearts, right? And the Bible talks about how out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? So out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth speaks. So at the end of the day, when you are trusting the Lord and guarding your heart against the words that you hear, because we got to remember that the Bible talks about how as a man thinketh, so is he. But the Bible tells us to think about, I think that's Philippians 4:8, where it says to think about the things that are true. Think about the things that are lovely. Think about the things that are righteous. Think about those things, right? And if we continue to think about those things and think about the truth of what God said and protect ourselves from and protect our hearts from the negativity that we hear from around other people. And sometimes it's not even like that people are intentionally being negative, but it's like the enemy is using the doubt of other people to plant seeds of doubt in your life that will grow into inaction and lack of faith. Because even the Bible is clear, and the Bible says whatever does not proceed from faith is a sin. Literally, whatever comes from doubt is a sin. So the moment that we stop trusting God, that is a sin. The moment that we stop trusting God to do what he said he would do, that is us not fully trusting what God said. So this is not the season to sit back and wonder if God said what he said. This is the season to lean into and protect your heart. Guard your heart from the words of what other people are saying. I've had so many conversations recently with entrepreneurs who are concerned about the wrong thing because they are concerned about what other people are saying about the direction of their businesses, the direction of the economy, the direction of our world. But the best place that you can be is leaned into God, leaned into what God said. So trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I hear right now that there are some people that have started their businesses or even made a decision prior to run their businesses with God at the center. But he says you've drifted away from that. And it's not that you drifted away intentionally. It's like literally your life has gotten so busy that you literally did not bring God at the center of your decisions as you're making them. Your default is to run to your thoughts and to run to your heart. But God is saying this is the season where you are to run to him, and he is going to respond to your doubts. He is going to respond to your fears. He is going to respond to the things that you are hearing around you. And so no, it's not easy to always just trust in God. No, it's not easy to just go and be like, all right, God, I'm giving it to you. This is what you said you was going to do. Like, I'm going to give it to you. He says it's going to take some retraining of your mind. It's going to take some retraining of your heart for you to run to him when things go wrong. And he says that this is not the time to put the trust in your flesh. This is not the time to put the trust in your ability. He says, yes, you should trust the fact that he's given you the ability, but this is the time when he's going to give you, like, I literally see him waging war against the enemy. He knows the enemy's moves before the enemy makes the move. And so God is literally giving you strategy and downloading spiritual acumen on exactly what to do, how to do it, how to strategize so that you can be ahead of what is to come. So trust in the Lord, lean not into your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. For those of y'all, I want y'all to put, especially if you're on TikTok and on Instagram right now, and even for those of you guys who are watching on YouTube, I want you guys to put in here, if you have been believing God for clarity, for insight, for wisdom, I want you to put one of those words in the chat. Like, I want you to go ham in there. Why? Because we are elevating our expectation. The Bible is clear that he says literally, if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it shall be given to him. So as you're putting the word insight and clarity and wisdom, I believe that God is going to respond to your request, that God is going to give you downloads, and he's going to give you heavenly downloads, things that people would not, like, I see you just being untraceable in the enemy's sight. Like, literally, you're going to be able to go before kings. And I just hear God saying that this is the season where your gifts will make room for you and bring you before great men and women. And I see you just being untraceable in the sight of the enemy. The enemy won't even be able to see how you are moving. He won't even be able to see the next move, because God says this next move that is about to happen is going to be a God move. And it is literally, I just see it making major waves, like it being just a single drop that causes a massive tsunami. So I just believe that God is bringing insight and clarity and wisdom to those who are expectant and are taking the time to sit with him. I hear him saying to sit with him. This is the season to sit with him before you make a move. This is the season to ask him before you make your next step. This is the season to take your emotions out of your business and take your emotions to him. This is the season to not look at how you feel and not to receive, because the Bible is also clear that the heart is deceitful. The heart is deceitful, and many of us have not guarded our hearts appropriately. So God wants us to take our heart to him, our emotions to him, and submit these things to him. And I'm gonna tell y'all what God told me last week. there was something I was getting ready to do, and I have been literally waiting to do it because, to be honest, I just was playing the scaredy cat game. Like, I was out here like, but God, what if this doesn't work out? Or I was just really discouraged in making moves in the direction of something he told me to do, simply because I just was like, honestly, playing the scared game. And I'm just like, okay, God. And I remember like just sitting down with God and just writing down everything, like all of the things that I had been procrastinating on. And I literally sat down and I wrote it down. I literally had a whiteboard before me. I started writing everything down on the whiteboard. And then I immediately got overwhelmed by the vast nature of what he was telling me to do. I'm like, all right, God, I got the vision out, but now that I see it, it's so big and I can't deal. And I just heard God say, like, in just a moment, he was like, this is mine and I'm footing the bill for it. Like, this is mine. I'm going to make sure that it happens. This is my thing. This is mine. This belongs to me. And so I see that many of us, like I was saying earlier, that have positioned ourselves at any point in our businesses to dedicate our businesses to God, that we need a new dedication to God for our business. Even as there were many women in the Bible where they dedicated their children to God. I just see us coming back and rededicating our children to the Lord, our businesses to the Lord, and saying, Lord, no matter what it looks like, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it sounds like. I don't care what I feel like isn't working out. This is the time where you're going to come back to God and he's going to download and give you heavenly downloads as to how to care for and how to tend to this vision that he has given you. Okay. All right. So I told myself I wasn't going to be on here that long. I already been on here for 20 minutes. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for listening. I'm definitely going to be going live more consistently throughout the month of June. So if you're not already, following me, whether it's on TikTok or whether it's over on Instagram or YouTube, set the notifications so that you guys can get notifications when I am actually live, because I'm going to be consistent with going live in the month of June. Okay. So I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to just do a quick testimony. Like, God told me to go live consistently for the month of June. And I'm like, okay, God, whatever. Y'all, today I had the most amount of people that I've ever had on a TikTok. There were like 400 something people on here immediately when I hopped on. And it literally was, that's just to show that when you get direction and clarity from God, it will open up things that you didn't even know were getting ready to happen. And so, I'm going to end with this, okay? I'm going to keep this live up because you guys have been asking for it. But trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding in all of your ways. All literally means nothing missing. In all of your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. This is the season to lean into God and not lean into your emotions, not lean into your fears, not lean into your own understanding. This is the season to put one foot in front of the other and go after what God told you to do, no matter what it looks like. All right. All right. I'll see you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining. I will be back live tomorrow. Okay. So I want y'all to meet me here. I want y'all to put in the chat if y'all are going to meet me here tomorrow. Put that in the chat, and also share this with the other people who you know may need it. So whether you're listening to the replay, you can tap in and tag someone or even share it with others later as well. All right. See y'all. Bye. All right. Bye, TikTok, and adios to you over on YouTube. Thank you guys for joining my first ever YouTube live session.